What's up, YouTube? We're back with another video. I have to do this video because I was watching King of Reeds, and he was on a video on Kaya and T.S. Madison and their whole fallout, and really was saying that Kaya is homophobic, transphobic, fatphobic, etc., etc. And he was responding to and he started to address AdrianXpressions about why did they fall out in their whole situation. Let me first say I am a huge fan of King of Reeds. Now, when him and AdrianXpressions got together, I started to become a fan of Adrian, and their podcast For the Culture was definitely a podcast that I used to listen to when I was on the train, when I was on the bus, heading to work. It was just a good feel, good podcast, listen to. Then to find out, that they broke up. A lot of people don't fail to realize that they were two people that were out doing a lot of podcasts during that time, and they had a whole bunch of followers. And he was saying about Adrian, how Adrian was saying all this stuff about him, and that he's the better person, that he's jealous of him, etc. And then when they broke up, AdrianXpression viewership declined as well as his subscribers. And so, me being a messy person, I went and I looked at AdrianXpression's viewership from 2018, 2019, 2020 to the viewership in 2022. It dramatically have dropped since of their fallout and since their situation. And when I looked at it, I said, wow, a lot of people from King of Reed supporters or his subscribers stopped supporting Adrian when they fell out. And this is the thing, when you do a video with a person or a podcast, the fans will try to pit you against each other. They would say things like, oh my gosh, Adrian, you're the best. You don't need King of Reeds. You're more intelligent than King of Reeds. You're more educated than King of Reeds. And you would let that play out in your head, and then you would start throwing shots at King of Reeds. So that's why you have to be very cautious on working together as a duo. And one of the downfalls of AdrianXpressions is that a lot of the people did leave him. It even hurt me to see that how his viewership have just dramatically just changed and how they just abandoned him. And so when people come to me and they say, hey, Wiley, you should have more subscribers, you should have more people. And I always say my viewership is good for the amount of subscribers that we have. We are averaging 10,000 views per video. And so it's really, really great. And the reason why I'm cautious of working with a person, doing a podcast with a person, because the fans, it become popular, it becomes a hit. Then the fans started making comments like, oh, Wiley, you don't need this person. Oh, Wiley, you might as well drop them. You can get more support by working by yourself, or you don't need him. He's jealous of you, etc. Then you would get the big head, and this is a whole problem. This ain't the only case where two YouTubers break up. I remember All About the Tea. She invited people on her podcast or her video blog, and everybody was watching it. Hundreds of thousands of people were watching it. And then eventually one of the viewers were commenting to one of the co-hosts and said, hey, you don't need Monica. You're better than this. You're more smarter than this. And the lady abandoned Monica. And then another guy abandoned Monica. And it was just a terrible, terrible situation where they just abandoned ship. And so that's why I tell people, when you get into these relationships and you try to get a partnership, it's best to make sure that your friendship is strong, your foundation is strong, because you don't allow people to mess up your relationship, your regular relationship. So when King of Reeds were making a response to Adrian, it's the truth. When Adrian and King of Reeds fell out, Adrian was making a whole bunch of comments talking about how better he was of King of Reeds. And then once they broke up, the fans stopped watching. They literally stopped watching him. He was averaging, 30 to 40,000 views, and then now he's only getting about 2 to 3,000 views. Like, literally, you have lost a good 80% of your audience, have abandoned ship. And so when I look at the Scorpion Show and I look at Kevin McHale, they make sure that their friendship outside the show is strong. Because when you do the show, you open yourself up to the fans of saying, oh, I like you more than this person, or I like you more than that person. They're going to have comments. And if you don't have a good foundation outside the show, then it can definitely mess up. Now, when I go back to King of Reeds, he was mad at Adrian because Adrian shared private information to his friend about him. And that's a no-no. If I tell you something in private, if I tell you something from the heart, and you use that information and you tell somebody else that I did not give permission to, that's a problem. And so to see them break up is very painful, to see two Black content creators break up. but it's also good to protect your mental health when somebody is using what you said in private and using it to the friend, saying it to somebody else about you. So I'm super excited that I'm able to do this video to break it down, because during that time I wasn't really as active or as a YouTuber. And now, me being in this game long enough, I'm very cautious on who I work with, especially if you are a content creator. Now, if you somebody new, you don't do content, I can kind of like mold you into really working with me. But obviously that sometimes don't work, because once the person start getting attention and start getting popularity, that's when they start getting the big head. All right. But let me know, did you start watching Adrian Expression after King of Reed's breakup? Are you still watching Adrian Expression? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so very much. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. I will see y'all in the next episode. Peace. Make sure y'all, okay, let me say this. Make sure y'all comment and subscribe. Thank y'all. Peace.